Hi, I'm John Merrell. I'm a missionary with the Assemblies of God, and I've been involved in media and missions for more than 30 years now. And now I'm the executive director and producer of a new project called Open the Bible. When I started in it 30 years ago, I was the rare exception. In fact, they had to make a new category because there were no missionaries doing media 30 years ago. Things have changed a whole lot since then. I found myself most of those early years having to pull people along to try to get them interested in using media as a tool to spread the gospel. Well, we've got so many of these things that young people are interested in now, that by providing them the opportunity to learn these things, the next thing they begin to ask themselves is, now how can I use what I'm learning for my life? How am I going to apply that and work it into the rest of my life? And so by giving them these opportunities here, it prepares them for the next step of what can I do. And what they can do is link up with our existing missionaries and through local churches. There are several media organizations within the Assemblies of God. International Media Ministries based in Madrid, Spain is one of them. There are other ministries such as Unción Television down in South America. Some of our Bible schools around the world now, outside the United States, are putting media into their curriculum as well. And to be able for them to take what they have learned here at Valley Forge and to be an exchange student, or even be part of doing a summer Ames trip or a MAPS trip to one of these other Bible schools where there's a media set up. And IMM has helped launch about 8 of those around the world now, all the way from Russia to South Africa to Calcutta, to go alongside some of those students who would be their contemporaries in an international sense, but be able to share from their experience of training here at Valley Forge, which those students haven't had the opportunity for. They get, first of all, they get a missions experience, they get exposure to other cultures, which open them up to a whole world culture thing, and they get an opportunity to use their media skills to not only work with international contemporaries, but also provide for those contemporary students in other places an opportunity for them to impart what they've learned to somebody else, training others to do the same thing in their country, in languages they'll never speak probably, cultures they'll never fully understand. But those kind of opportunities are brand new that exist today that have never existed before. We can see the wave coming, and if we don't get with that wave, we have always, seemingly in missions, been at least 10 years or 20 years behind what everybody else is doing. And that's been a little discouraging in the 30 years I've been in missions, but I'm encouraged today because what I see is that we're beginning to close that gap. That gap is narrowing now. We're living in a media society, and the younger people coming up through our Bible schools and in our churches, they're much more media savvy than my generation was 30 years ago. So the result is that it used to just be a trickle of people who could even see the reality of using media and the effectiveness of it to get the gospel out. Today what's happening is that there are more and more younger people getting involved because they don't have to be told think media, because they're doing it every day. They're doing it on their cell phones, they're doing it on iPods, they're doing it on their computers, on laptops. Don't take the opportunities of what you're learning here for granted. Realize that you are in a grand plan and a grand scheme that God has to use those things that you're involved in now to somehow touch a world that you can't even begin yet to comprehend. When I think when I was your age going to college, I never had the opportunities, some of the simple things that you're doing here. And yet when I look back over my life now and see that God has allowed me to be involved in media and missions for more than 30 years all around the world, and some of the things that He's allowed me to be a part of with the limited background I had, when I think of the background that you are accumulating here and the things you're learning and what you're going to be able to do, it blows my mind, because you'll be able to do so much if you're simply obedient and yield to the kingdom of God to use these tools that God's preparing you with today.